guys? Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Let's get it. We are live on YouTube, live on Twitter, live on TikTok. Let's go live on YouTube mobile. Let's cook. What's today? Thursdays. NFL plus MLB. Breaking down all of Thursday's NFL and MLB. What up, guys? What up? What up? What up? How are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday, guys. Hope you guys are having a great day so far. It's a beautiful day here in DC, nation's capital. What up, Matt? How you doing, brother? Gonna give it another minute for people to join up. In the meantime, let me check some boxes real quick. The main thing we want to talk about today is NFL and MLB. Well, NFL, let's start off there. Washington versus Green Bay. You guys know Thursday Night Football. Can I make these lines? Hold up, let me adjust these borders a little bit here. What you guys want to talk about, man? How do you guys want to get started today? Let's put a border there. Not there. There. Chiefs. What's up, Chief? Wants to talk about NFL props? What do the rest of you guys want to talk about, man? Again, guys, I'll let you guys kind of lead the show a little bit here. We can start wherever you guys want. In fact, let's go ahead and start with the side and total real quick. Padres, Packers, or Commanders? I think that's the big question, man. White Sox have been blessing you all week. I took them 2 weeks ago and they let me down. I think they came back full game and they at least pushed the one, but first half they definitely messed with me. I saw they were the cap was pointing to the White Sox yesterday as well. I don't know if they ended up coming through. Noah Brown over 20 receiving yards. Okay, we could talk about it. Padres. Let's start with NFL, guys. Let's start with NFL, and then we can switch over to MLB. All right, guys, give me everything you got for Washington versus Green Bay, and then I'm going to read off what I got here, the notes that I have here. We are talking Thursday Night Football, Washington versus Green Bay. The look-ahead line for this, so there's two lines you could really look at. One is the opening number. That's the number after the games have been played on Sunday. But the line ahead of that, the line before those games were played, this thing was sitting at Green Bay 1.5. So based off of Green Bay's performance, this thing jumped up to 3.5. That's where we were at pretty much the whole week. Looks like we're now seeing -3. Okay, 56% of the public is on Green Bay. Okay, like I mentioned, both of these teams coming off of wins on Sunday, pretty convincing wins at that. Washington, they played really good defense. I know they kind of let the Giants hang there for a little bit, but they pulled away and ended up winning by 2 scores. Same thing Green Bay, not Green Bay. Same thing with Green Bay. Detroit neither one of these teams were really. These scores are definitely. It definitely looks this lopsided. That's what I kind of want to say there. You got 2-score wins for both of them. None of them really completely blew them out, but none of them, neither one of them was a close game either. So a few of the things that I've noted here, guys. I got Washington. If you're looking at the average age per player, okay, Washington is ranked the oldest team in NFL. Green Bay is ranked the youngest team. Okay, so you got the oldest team against the youngest team. And then you have Washington coming in on a short week. Okay, you got Washington coming in on a short week with the oldest squad. We already know the veterans, the old guys, they don't play in the preseason. So last week's action was really the first time they're really experiencing some game time action this year. And then to be the oldest in terms of, you have a lot of old guys there. You have, Bobby Wagner, you have Zach Ertz, you have Eckler, you have a lot of older guys on that roster. And for them to come in on a short week, I mean, that's definitely an advantage there for Green Bay. On the other side, like I mentioned, Green Bay, the youngest team in NFL per player age. In terms of prime time, I got the Packers at 22 and 11 primetime ATS in their last 33. Green Bay's Jordan Love has not been throwing interceptions. He's gone 8 straight games without an interception. Matt LaFleur, he's money in September, 16-3 in September. And then at home, 8-0 in September for Matt LaFleur. This is interesting here. You don't really have a whole lot of things pointing for Washington. You do have the left guard and the right tackle for Green Bay. They're expected to miss this game. And I mean, plain and simple, this is kind of one of these where you kind of got to throw the stats out the window a little bit. Can Washington stay in this game? They have, of course, Jaden Daniels, and when you have Jaden Daniels, you have a guy like that, definitely got a chance, man. So as you guys know, I'm usually kind of like throughout the day, I really play devil's advocate for both sides. I'm seeing so many reasons to take Green Bay and not that many reasons to take Washington. That kind of gets me to pointing why this spread is only 3. If you have all that youth, if you have all those young guys on Green Bay, why is this thing only at -3? It doesn't really make sense to me. You also add on the fact that Jaden Daniels struggles against zone defense. The Green Bay Packers, all they do is run zone defense. Last week, they ran 91% of their coverages were in zone D rather than man. So I got a lot of things pointing to Green Bay, but that's usually telling me I'm missing something with Washington, and usually when something is so obvious like that, it's not the right move. Let me see what you guys are saying on this one, man. Don't overthink it as Washington. I'm not overthinking it. It's just part of the cap, brother. You have to make the argument for both sides. What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Do you give out free picks? Yes, I do give out free picks. It's in the Discord. Link is in bio. What's up, Anita? How are you doing? Zach Ertz to go over 4.5 receptions. I would be expecting. So you gotta kind of play this out a little bit, right? You would expect Jaden Daniels to be under pressure, right? With Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons' history against Washington, knowing Washington, that given that he was on the Cowboys, and yeah, I would expect Jaden Daniels to be looking for those underneath, short, intermediate routes, and Zach Ertz could be on the receiving end on that. I don't mind that. I like Zach Ertz. Yeah, Jocelyn. You guys are asking me for fantasy. So, I like I said, I've studied up this matchup. If you guys have any questions about this game, I definitely can't help you with fantasy for Sunday, man. First quarter props. I don't do any first quarter props. You guys are really deep into this, man. You guys are ready to talk about Sunday. Maybe we have to. I actually already, have gotten started with my cap for Sunday. Maybe we got to come on here and do a show for just the whole NFL week. Hollywood or Pearsall. Yeah, you guys are deep into Sunday already. Anybody want to talk about Thursday Night Football? I'm checking the comments. They're money makers in the first quarter. That first quarter is tough. I agree with doing first half, second half. That makes sense to me. Because then you get kind of equal possessions. But if you're doing first quarter, you're depending on a coin toss to see if you even get the ball first, right? Drop Smith or Golden. Yeah, brother, I can't help you with fantasy, brother. I'm not a fantasy guy. I'm here to talk. Green Bay looks so free. Chris, I'm getting the same idea here. I got a lot of things pointing to Green Bay. Head coach Matt LaFleur is 16-3 in September against a number. 16-3 against a number. He is 8-0 at home in September, so he gets off to fat starts. Jordan Love is protecting the ball. He's gone 8 straight games without an interception. You got the oldest team in Washington traveling on a short week to play the youngest team in Green Bay. You got Jaden Daniels struggling against zone coverage. That's all Green Bay runs. They ran it a lot last year, and then last week was like 91% zone coverages. Packers it is. I did see that, Shreds. I did see that, and that's what it makes me wonder a little bit too. Like, is it fake sharp? Can you be in a situation here where it's fake sharp? Over the offseason, both of these teams, neither one of these teams lost their coordinators. These coaching staffs are intact. When it comes to Matt LaFleur versus Dan Quinn, I got to give the edge here to Matt LaFleur now in his 7th year as a head coach. He has a really high winning record. In terms of roster, like I said, it's really just it's old heads against youth here, man. You got Jaden Reed for Green Bay, Matthew Golden, Tucker Kraft. These are young guys. Young guys coming into the league against Deebo Samuels and Zach Ertz, Austin Eckler. You do gotta pause and take a moment though to look at those offensive linemen that are not expected to play today. Last thing I heard is they're not. Neither one of them has been practicing. I'm talking about the starting left guard and the starting right tackle. That could create problems there for Jordan Love. Drop Bryce Young for my bench. Yeah, you guys are really into fantasy. I passed on fantasy this year, man, but wish I could help you. Everyone said Bears were free at home. Daniels goes off. Yeah, I wasn't buying into that Bears hype. You don't think the Green Bay hype is real, though? This one doesn't seem so bad. Let's put up a poll for it real quick. That Commanders' defensive line looks scary as hell. Does it? I mean, they were playing the Giants, too, bro. They were playing Russell Wilson, man. Russell Wilson not just a step slower. He is a few steps slower. He's not as elusive as he used to be. Doesn't go through his progressions. He holds on to the ball. Joe Flacco. This is my man's name is Joe Flacco. I wish I could help you with that, brother. Bryce Young for my bench for Aaron Rodgers. I'm not buying into Aaron Rodgers long term, brother. I can tell you that much. I'm not buying into Aaron Rodgers, man. That 42-year-old body can only hold up so long, man. And then you're playing in Pittsburgh and that cold, frigid air that's about to be there along the rivers. That's tough, brother. I think I would not overreact to the 4 touchdowns that he threw. LJ says Noah Brown for 20 yards. Noah Brown. Again, I'm not a big prop guy. You guys are talking about Noah Brown for the Commanders. Not a big prop guy. Can't really tell you anything beyond the wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, tight ends, brother. I wish I could help you. I don't want to lead you in the right direction. The way NFL's been going, I wouldn't be surprised if Vegas makes a call. It's not that lopsided too, though. If Green Bay was more lopsided, then I would be a little bit more concerned. I'm seeing 56% of the public on Green Bay. Did you pick the Bears on Monday? No, I was on the Vikings, but under was my main play. Yeah, I got screwed with the under. And then we put under with Vikings on a teaser. Dumb. Let's get it, man. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, I give you one of my top plays for free in the Discord. Link is in bio. Am I not... Bro, I was not streaming on YouTube this whole time. Or maybe I am. YouTube, check in with me, man. Let me know if everything's coming through okay. Looks like I'm seeing some things that say offline. Let's get it, man. Jaden Daniels over a rushing touchdown. I like that. Again, guys, I'm not a huge prop guy, but I like the idea. The way I see this playing out, right? You got Micah Parsons off the edge. You have Washington with a revamped offensive line. We got Micah Parsons. So it could work both ways, right? You got Micah Parsons. He used to be on the Cowboys, right? So he's used to playing against Washington. Played twice against them already. He recorded 4.5 sacks in 2 games last year. Then the other way of looking at that is that Washington has blocking schemes. Could have blocking schemes against that pressure already as well. So the way I see it, Washington, Jaden Daniels, was really using his progressions, right? Using his progressions, passing the ball. And then he kind of just, off of scrambles, he would go and run the ball. I think with the pressure that is going to be around him, and with the offensive line that obviously is new with Washington, it's going to have to hold up. I could see him scrambling around, and there's something specific that needs to be said about quarterbacks that have mobility on primetime, bro. They use their primetime mobility. We saw Patrick Mahomes scrambling around. He usually doesn't do that. Saw Jaden Hurts going up and down the field. Again, something on prime time, man. Lamar Jackson was going up and down the field. I would expect Jaden Daniels to use his feet here, especially with the pressure given up. So for him to score a touchdown, I could definitely see that, brother. Let's get it, man. Do I use B365? Yeah, I do. Not as one of my main ones, but I do shop around and I use all the books. No one likes Eckler to sneak one in. They're giving the ball a lot to the rookie. Isn't there a rookie there from Arizona, the Wildcat? They're giving him the ball a lot. I know a lot has been said about Josh Jacobs. He's over there making history. I think he scored on like 8 or 9 straight games for Green Bay. Will Joe Burrow ever have protection in the pocket? Man, he is. His offensive line is ranked one of the worst for sure. Somebody mentioned the Washington defensive line. That one is expected to be one of the worst units in NFL, just based on the projections that were coming into this year. Again, they were playing the Giants, man. They were playing the Giants. I think that was more of the Giants and Russell Wilson rather than a great offensive line. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. Oh man, the ghost of Charlie is here. Cool. You guys ready to talk some MLB, or you guys got anything else for NFL? How do you feel about Jacob scoring a touchdown? I think I saw that thing at like minus 220, brother. Thank you, Douglas, for the gifts, man. I appreciate it. You guys have a lot of fantasy questions. I really should probably study up on my fantasy football. Ricky Pearsall versus Pearsall or Debo. I would take Debo in that case, bro. Pearsall and all the wide receivers for San Francisco are gonna be in trouble with Mac Jones at quarterback this week, and it sounds like Mac Jones is gonna be the quarterback for the next 2-3 weeks possibly. Do you think Jordan Love gets his 6 rushing yards? That's tough because then they could always kneel the ball and then you lose the rushing yards there. He doesn't really depend on running the ball. I would personally expect more pressure to be on the other side for Jaden Daniels and him to be running the ball a little bit more. Home field advantage worth points in the NFL? Absolutely. It's absolutely worth points in the NFL. They used to say it's 3 points. Now it's like 1.5, 2 points. Okay. So if we're on a neutral field, they're saying Green Bay would be favored by 4.5, 5 points. That's an interesting way to think about this. No, excuse me. Sorry. Green Bay's at home here. They're favored by 3.5. So, okay. So that's why it wasn't making sense. And on a neutral field, Green Bay would be favored by like 1 point, 1.5 points here. That sounded more right. Lou says Commanders and Packers, who wins? So, guys, at this point of the day, I am really just kind of playing devil's advocate for both sides. I am seeing a lot of things pointing to Green Bay currently, though. And that's what tells me. It tells me that I'm probably not seeing everything right. I gotta, take some more time on this. But at the moment, I'm feeling Green Bay right now. Again, it's not too much of a public play. I think Jaden Daniels gets a lot of love. But when it comes to the X's and O's, this should be Green Bay here. Okay? Again, at this point of the day, I'm usually playing devil's advocate, just trying to collect all the information. And then if you want one of my top plays, I'll give you one of my top plays for free in the Discord. Commanders plus 3.5. You really just got to be going off of Jaden Daniels, just expecting some sort of miracle finish from him or some miracle drives. You also add on the fact that Jordan Love doesn't really depend on a single wide receiver or a single tight end. He really spreads the ball around. Right. One thing you do got to say with Washington, though, they have because they have the mobility with Jaden Daniels. That pressure was able to get to the Lions last week. It was able to get to Jared Goff. Jared Goff is a statue. He does not move around. He does not have mobility. So I would say, pump the brakes a little bit. Pump the brakes a little bit on how Green Bay looked. Okay, and this is week 2 of NFL, guys. This is national overreaction week, bro. Everybody's gonna be overreacting. Okay, I don't want to fall victim to that. Not on the first day of the first game of week 2. But yeah, man, just kind of airing my thoughts here. Take no props on under game. So you're expecting this game to go under? This is under all the way. Don't be surprised if it has 2 touchdowns. Why do you say that? I lean in general, right? It is a primetime game. We do see primetime unders hitting at a high clip. Okay, that's a couple seasons in the making now. But 2 touchdowns that low scoring a game. Again, guys, keep in mind, I know we've seen a lot of divisional games on primetime. This is not a divisional game, right? This is a big conference matchup between Washington and Green Bay here. A lot of people expect these 2 teams to be in it at the end of the day. I am tracking a lot of things, guys, and one of the things I am tracking is unders. A week ago, last week, unders were 12-4, 75%, 12-4 to the under. I usually like a little bit of regression to the mean there. I could see these offenses being the better units on the field. I can see points here personally. It'll be a kicking game. That's why the spread's at 3. I don't think that's why the spread's at 3. I think they're just favored there by 3, brother. I don't think that necessarily means it's going to be a field goal game. They are hammering the over. I got the over at 63%. Do keep an eye on this. We've been seeing some 48s, some flat 48s show up. Right now it is 48.5. So Hollywood Brown or Debo. Mag, I got you, brother. We could look at MLB. Give me a moment here. Let's finish up on NFL. Conrad, we could switch to NFL MLB shortly. Give me a moment here. Hollywood Brown or Debo. I think the Chiefs are out of receivers, man. They got to depend on somebody. I think, the Chiefs, they got to rely on somebody here, man. And Hollywood Brown is kind of all they have left there. Fast turnaround game. I like Jacobs over 60 yards. Just pound the rock. You do gotta keep in mind though with the guard, the starting left guard and the starting right tackle. Both of them are questionable to play, most likely not going to play. Looks like you guys are ready for MLB. Debo Samuel's over 4.5 receptions. That's not one I was really looking at. One that I was looking at for a little bit here was Austin Eckler to get his receptions. Again, kind of the idea, the thought process that that Jaden Daniels will have to be checking the ball a little bit. We'll be running from pressure. Yeah. You think Drake May and JCM's a good trade? I'm not a big prop guy, brother, but let's focus on Thursday Night Football, guys. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. You guys have a ton of questions. I'll study up on my fantasy football, man. I didn't do it this year, but damn, you guys are cool. All right, guys, let's switch to MLB. My man Comrade wants to know if the Mariners are a good play. So personally, my focus today is this NFL game. We have one college game I still got to study up on too. But I could at least give you like a bird's eye view of what the model is showing for the Mariners game. Let's look at the Mariners game. Conrad wants to know between the Angels and Seattle. We're talking about Jose Soriano versus Bryce Miller. Let's talk some MLB, guys. We are talking about the Angels and the Mariners real quick. Give me red for the Angels, blue for the Mariners. What side are you guys on today? Conrad, by the way, remember there are 2 YouTube streams, okay? This is my mobile stream, and then I'm sharing my screen on the other stream as normal, guys. If you guys want to switch to YouTube, I have my screen share going on there. You guys can see everything I'm talking about. Red for the Angels, blue for the Mariners. What side are you on today? Jose Soriano is going up against Bryce Miller. Let me give you just a good idea of where I would be looking at in this game. Again, I'm not focused on MLB today, but let me at least guide you in the right direction. This line is moving in favor of the Angels, but the better offense is definitely Seattle. The Seattle offense is definitely a much better unit. They could definitely hit. They have a really good bullpen as well. You got to keep in mind the bullpen for Seattle, very, very strong unit. These numbers are from yesterday or the day before. So let me erase those real quick. And then we're talking Jose Soriano against Bryce Miller. I'm looking over the last 2 starts, over the last 5 starts. Bryce Miller hasn't been pitching that good. It looks like he is due for some negative regression. Jose Soriano, he's supposed to be, one of the aces on that roster, on that rotation. I'm seeing a really bad home starts here for Bryce Miller. He's been getting rocked his expected FIP, his FIP in 5 innings in his last 60 days. So he's coming off of some sort of injury too, and his home numbers look pretty terrible. I would be looking at the Angels there. I think there's some values on the Angels. Despite being mismatched on offense, I think Jose Soriano could probably hang in there and keep the Angels in the game. Bad leans ahead. Yeah, brother. There's a reason why Rapid Fire is pretty successful. I have some pretty good takes on all those games. Even when I have a bad game on a bad day on top plays, I'm still out there giving you guys every single pick for every single game, and it's a pretty good one. Phillies and Mets. My man Damien wants to talk about the Phillies. You're fading Soriano. Just don't know how you could do that with Bryce Miller. I mean, he's not pitching his best right now. Giving up a lot of hard contact, a lot of home runs. And at home, that's where he's getting rocked the most. Both New York teams today avoid the sweep on 9/11. I've heard of that. I've thought of that. But I've played that storyline years ago, and it doesn't usually work out that well. Even on anniversaries like 9/11. Yeah, I'm not really buying in too much into the storylines, man. My man Mag, you were waiting for MLB. Let me give you an idea here. Between the Mets and the Phillies, this line is moving in favor of the Mets. It is David Peterson up against Jose Luzardo. In terms of offense, I got some numbers that are not showing up here. Let me look at the bats real quick. Let me reset this. 1 second. In terms of the bats, you do have two lineups that are both really good. The New York Mets over the last 7 days starting to cool down a little bit, but still overall some pretty good bats. In terms of bullpen, it looks like you have an edge here with the Philadelphia bullpen. Philadelphia's bullpen looks more reliable, but once you look at the advanced numbers, it looks like the Mets bullpen is due for some positive regression. You got Jose Luzardo, man. He's pitching really well over his last 30 days, over his last 14 days. His numbers are pretty much green across the board. David Peterson looks like he got rocked in his over the last 2 weeks. He has a 14.7 ERA. But once you look at his road numbers specifically over the last 60 days, he's pitched 25 innings and he has a 2.14 FIP. His expected numbers look pretty good. I think the Mets could stay in this game. Yes, they are trying to avoid a sweep. That hasn't really been beneficial to the Mets. They are 2-5 at avoiding the sweep. But the Philadelphia Phillies at closing out a sweep, they don't do that a whole lot. It's hard to close out a sweep against anybody, especially your division rival, especially when both of these offenses are really good. I would expect David Peterson to bounce back here, and I would say there's more value on the Mets here. 5 innings, 4 runs. Yeah, but he got rocked in his last game. Can't trust the Mets, only the Yankees. Zay, we just talked about Commanders and Packers. At the moment, again, kind of airing out all my thoughts, giving you guys all the information I have on that game. At the moment, I'm feeling the Packers right now. But I gotta find more angles for Washington because I'm seeing it feels like way too lopsided, right? It feels like way too lopsided to just take the Packers. Pollard or Evans, I can't. I could if I at least I could sometimes guide you in the right direction, but I'm not too much of a prop guy, brother. So. The Pack comes back and win by 2 and give Washington the cover. All right, guys. Any other MLB you guys want to talk about? Bryce Harper to get his total bases. Bryce Harper against David Peterson. Again, David Peterson, I expect him to bounce back a little bit here, man. He got rocked in his last game. But when you look at his actual road numbers are pretty good. And then if you're looking at David Peterson, he has a strength too. His strength is lefties. His weakness is righties. Bryce Harper is a lefty, man. So that doesn't play into David Peterson's weakness, right? If you're looking for anybody on the Phillies, look for righties like Harrison Bader, Real Muto, Castellanos. His numbers against righties are pretty significantly worse compared to lefties. Who should I start, man? There's a lot of people that love fantasy football here. I gotta get a little bit more up to date with my fantasy brother, but I can't help you. I'm wearing the same shirt right now. Hey, man, that's cool. Okay, that's not gonna happen here. How come your logic is if something is too obvious to take the other option? Because that's usually in NFL how it works, man. Usually when something is way too obvious, you gotta at least see it from both sides, right? Well, you gotta see it at least from both sides. You gotta play devil's advocate. When it comes down to playing the number, playing the spread, you gotta make an argument for both sides. And if you're only seeing arguments for one side, that kind of tells you you're missing something. You're definitely missing something because there's something keeping the market balanced. Okay, there's something keeping the market balanced. And with Washington, like I was explaining with Jaden Daniels, you always got a chance with that guy, man. He's proven to us that he's definitely got a chance. I would prefer when I see it from both sides. I got good trends on both sides. I good head coaches on both sides or something. When stuff is really even, it's easier to call it, you know, exactly the way it should be. But when you're missing one side completely, you gotta see it from both sides, man. Rockies +5. You can get 5 on a Rockies. That's not possible. I hate fantasy football. Yeah, I'm not a big fantasy football guy either, man. Sorry, guys. I wish I could help you guys with fantasy football. Maybe I can study up on it a little bit and get some good opinions for you. But for the moment, we got to stick to some sides, some totals. And then if you guys want to talk about props, we could look at some props and just kind of play out the game and guide you in the right direction. My man David wants to know about the Rockies today. The Colorado Rockies are in San Diego. McCade Brown is on the mound against Randy Vasquez. This line is moving in favor of the Padres. The Padres are the most public play of the day. 80% of the public is on the Padres. This line has barely moved, though. It's moved just a few cents in favor of San Diego. San Diego is now at -260, -257. In terms of offense, guys, the offense, the Padres are not smacking right now. They've only won 3 games in the last 10. Colorado Rockies, they're cold too. Bullpen, that great Padres bullpen is not so great right now. And Colorado's, bullpen is pretty bad as well. But yeah, McCade Brown, we don't have a lot of information on him. He's pitched only 9 innings over the last month, and those innings have been bad. And I'm looking at the road innings. They were just as bad. So you can't really make the excuse for him that, okay, he plays in Colorado. He got rocked in Colorado. No, he's getting rocked everywhere. Usually I have a good feel for when you could take the Rockies and get some value on them. I'm not feeling it today, man. I think the Padres have the better starting pitching. They have the better bullpen, and they have the better offense. And having only won 3 games out of the last 10, I think they gotta string some games together, man. You're getting close to the playoffs. You gotta start to look at some games. Start to win some of these games that are very winnable. My man C wants to talk about the Nationals. Let's talk about the Washington Nationals against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Marlins. Mackenzie Gore is going up against Ryan Weathers. And let's put up a poll for this one real quick. Give me red. Why do I feel like they've been playing this series for a while? Do I have it right? Because they were definitely playing this since Monday. Yeah, today would be the last day of the series. It's a 4-day series. Give me red for the Nationals, blue for the Marlins. What side are you on today? Red for the Nationals, blue for the Marlins. It is Mackenzie Gore. That's the best Washington's got against Ryan Weathers going for Miami. What do you guys think about this one? Washington Nationals versus Miami Marlins. Mackenzie Gore on the mound against Ryan Weathers. We don't have any data here over the last 30 days. Ryan Weathers is making his return from the injury list for sure, because he's only played 11 innings here at home this whole season. So he hasn't played in a while. Against Mackenzie Gore on the other side, who's also coming off of some sort of injury. He hasn't played in the last 2 weeks. Last time we saw him, he was getting rocked. He's giving up a lot of barrel rate, a lot of hard hit rate. Mackenzie Gore not pitching to the best of his ability right now. It was the Nationals that picked up a loss yesterday. They lost 3-8, but before that they were kind of dominating the series in Miami. Washington is not looking to avoid the sweep. Like I said, they won the first 2 of this series. I gotta trust Mackenzie Gore a little bit here more. He's capable of playing some good baseball. He's not surrounded by a whole lot of talent, but currently Washington is playing better offense. They're playing better ball, and they actually have a bullpen that's pitching pretty well right now too. I think the Washington Nationals are the side I would rather be on here if I had to pick. Again, I don't have the full breakdown, guys. I'm not focused on MLB today. NFL and college are my focus today. But that's at least at a bird's eye view. That's the way I'm seeing it. I got Washington coming off of a loss. They are the better team, the better offense, the better bullpen, and you have two good pitchers, or two pitchers that are capable of being good. I would probably take Mackenzie Gore over Weathers. Like selling my house and putting, that is definitely not what I said, brother. Let's get it, man. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. Bro, baseball's been on my top plays. So this is the weird thing, man. On my top plays, baseball has not been good to me, right? When I'm selecting my top 3 and my top 4, it hasn't been well. But I post rapid fire on baseball days for you guys here on rapid fire. It's still been doing pretty good. Rapid fire picks, that's where I give you a pick for every single game. So that tells me, man, we're due for some positive regression at some point. We're gonna, if we could pick the full slate and have a winning record, why wouldn't we be able to pick our top plays and go from there? So baseball is at a goofy part of the season right now, I would say too, man. It's at a weird place right now. We're definitely gonna focus on NFL right now. I do have a lot of work to do with the NFL and the college football model. But MLB will be back for the playoffs for sure in October, man. There's nothing like October baseball. Yeah, see, do not do that. Under 2.5. Yeah, no. Connor, NC State today. I don't have the college football ready for today. I do got to study up on that one yet, man. I don't have data for that one yet. Daniels to get a touchdown. Yes, somebody asked me that one earlier. It makes sense. I think it makes sense. I think Jaden Daniels should be trying to use his feet, trying to use his mobility. We saw him start to use it a little bit against the Giants last week. I would expect him to, with the pressure that he's going to be facing from Micah Parsons and the rest of the D-line, I would expect him to use that. Let's get it, guys. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. The Mets and the Phillies. We talked about that game, brother. I feel like the value would be here on the Mets to avoid the sweep. It's hard to close out a sweep. Philadelphia, I got them at 5-5 at closing out a sweep. It's hard to close out a sweep against anybody, especially your division rival, especially when they're playing really good baseball right now. Well, they're not winning a whole lot of games, but their offense is pretty hot right now. They ranked 3rd over the last 14 days. They ranked number 1 over the last 30 days, WRC plus in terms of offense. Daniels to go under 224 passing yards against that Green Bay defense. I'm gonna say Green Bay's defense looked really good last week, right? But I think that really goes to show a little bit that the Lions were missing Ben Johnson, right, at OC. I feel like that has a lot to do about it, and not enough is being said about that. I think it's a little bit of an overreaction to say Green Bay's defense is that elite. I would fade that, brother. I would fade that. Do you like Mackenzie Gore over 14.5 pitching outs? I like the Nationals in the game, so I would expect Mackenzie Gore to stay in this one. In terms of offense, right? Washington has the offense to give him run support and to stay in the game even longer. Ryan Weathers hasn't pitched in a while. He hasn't pitched in a long while, so I would expect Mackenzie Gore to not have a short leash and to stay in this game and finally put a good start together, man. He's definitely capable of it. So, yeah, that one looks fine with me. AM wants to talk about the Guardians. Kansas City against Cleveland Guardians. Stephen Kolek against Gavin Williams. In terms of offense, both of these bats are pretty cold, but Cleveland's starting to wake up a little bit, man. They were definitely ice cold for a long time. Over the last 7 days, over the last 14 days, they're definitely pitching better. One thing I told you earlier in the week, and this is why I ended up on the full game under, where I told you guys take the Kansas City Cleveland under, it's because their bullpen. These bullpens are 2 of the best. They might be the 2 best bullpens in all of MLB. So keep that in mind with Kansas City and Cleveland, that both of these bullpens are already good. Would I end up on Cleveland, though, if I were playing? I'm not playing any baseball today. But if I were, I'm seeing this line moving in favor of Kansas City, who picked up a win yesterday. And when it comes to pitching, Stephen Kolek is a guy that I would trust a little bit more right now. Gavin Williams giving way too much hard contact. And I'm looking at his left on base percentage. His left on base percentage over the last 14 days is 100%. Over the last 30 days is 93%. That is way too high. That is telling me that you're putting runners on base and you're leaving them stranded, which a lot of people think is clutch. But it also means you can't keep getting away with that, right? You gotta. The best pitchers have a left on base between 70 and 80%. That's usually where you want to be. 100%, 93%. It's not sustainable to keep leaving runners on base. I gotta say, there's value in Kansas City today. That's where I would be looking. Gore has been all over the place in his career against the Marlins. Yeah, I don't have career numbers against him, but you got to think this lineup is not top tier lineup with Miami. They're not seeing lefties really well. They're 25th against lefties. They're 26 at home over the last 30 days. Did you already talk about the Yankees game? No, I didn't talk about the Yankees. Detroit. This is the last MLB game, guys. Detroit versus the Yankees. Tyler Holton against Cameron Schlitter. In terms of line movement, it looks like the Yankees opened up here as minus 170. This line is moving in favor of Detroit. Yankees, man, got spanked. Spanked in 2 games in a row now. They lost 1-11 yesterday. The last game of the series here, so it should be for the sweep. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I remember both these games in the series. I don't think there was a third. Detroit was, spanking them, trying to close out a sweep here. And I have the Yankees at being swept 6-3. 6-3 in this one. 6-3 at avoiding the sweep. In terms of offense, though, Detroit's offense has turned it up, man. Their offense is definitely really good. Keep in mind, though, their road offense, their offense on the road hasn't been that good. Especially over the last 30 days, they ranked 27th, so maybe a little bit of positive regression. The biggest problem for the Yankees has been their bullpen. Their bullpen has definitely given up way too many runs. 9 runs given up 2 nights ago, I remember, against the Tigers. And it's hard to keep that up, especially this bullpen is pretty decent. The expected numbers are showing that they're due for a little bit of positive regression. You have Schlitter going up against Holton. Pitching edge does go to the Yankees. Pitching edge does go to the Yankees here. This line isn't really moving. It's kind of lopsided. It's not really lopsided. It's actually 50-50. I would say the Yankees here, man. If I had to pick, I would probably go with the Yankees. I missed the Blue Jays. I can't see the Yankees getting swept today. Somebody said it's 9-11, so yeah, no way the Yankees team, the New York teams get swept. Take that for what you want. All right, guys. What about the Mets? We talked about the Mets already, brother. I think there is value on the Mets. I guess I am saying that I do lean both New York teams. Yeah. All right, guys. I don't like I said with my with MLB today. That was kind of like a bird's eye view. I didn't do a deep dive into MLB today. My focus is football. Let's go back to the NFL game, guys. If you guys got anything else, let me recap. I got you, user. Let me recap what we talked about with Washington and Green Bay today. Maybe this leads you in the right direction or something. But Washington, guys, coming into this game, Washington is ranked as the oldest team in MLB. Okay, that goes to that. There's something to that, man. You got Bobby Wagner, you got Zach Ertz, you got Austin Eckler, you got a lot of older guys on the team, and they're traveling with limited rest on a short week. Played on Sunday afternoon, traveling and then going up to Green Bay. Green Bay stayed at home. They played both of these teams coming off of division wins, right? Both of them probably feeling pretty good about the wins. But Green Bay got to stay at home, and they are the youngest team as well. So they have a lot of youth. You would think they could recover a little bit better, okay? In terms of prime time, I got the Green Bay Packers at 22-11. 22-11 against the number in their last 32 primetime games. Jordan Love not turning the ball over. He's gone 8 straight games without throwing an interception. Matt LaFleur, I think there's a head coaching edge with him as well. He is 16-3 against the number in September, 8-0 at home in September. So he gets off to fast starts. Again, he's in his 7th year here with the Packers. So been here, done that. A lot of there's been no coaching changes on either side. Dan Quinn is now in his 2nd year or 3rd year with Washington. I'm gonna keep an eye on these offensive linemen. The left guard, the starting left guard, and the starting right tackle for Green Bay. Both of them are questionable to play. Not looking like they're gonna suit up. Doesn't look like they were practicing earlier. I'm gonna keep my eye on that. Week two NFL week 2 is overreaction week, man. This is when a lot of people overreact to what they saw in week 1. And Green Bay looked real good. Green Bay looked real good. Okay, and it's hard not to kind of want to crown them already. But the way I'm seeing it, the X's and O's, the trends, things are pointing to Green Bay. That's the way I'm feeling right now. Whether I end up there, I don't know. But this is me just kind of airing out my thoughts and just giving you guys my opinion right now. Again, guys, when we have only one game on the slate, one NFL primetime game, it's hard for me to also, come on here and give you my play. That's what the Discord is for, guys. If you guys want to join the Discord, link is in bio. That's the side I'm feeling right now, man. We still got 3 hours till kickoff, man. So we'll see where we end up on this one. Hit the follow button if it's your first time here. I think we talked at this point about MLB and NFL. If you guys have any follow-up questions, drop whatever questions you have on my recent video. I will respond before game time. Drop whatever you got, MLB or NFL, on my last video. I will respond. I'm a content creator. That's what content creators got to do. They got to respond to every single comment, man. So use that to your advantage. Be blessed, man. Be kind to each other. Be nice to each other. I hope you have a great day. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. YouTube Mobile, Twitter.